I was born in France and raised in Germany, and I now live in Utah and have 4 kids, and I work for BYU and love it. I also love to run and sleep and do yoga and eat all the foods. Finding little victories every day can be really challenging. Sometimes I think the hardest part is acknowledging our victories and simply looking for something positive that we've done or accomplished that day. At the end of the day, I always like to at least find one thing that I'm super excited about. I've recently started working full-time and I have 4 kids at home. And so one of my favorite little victories that I have recently is just making my bed. If I come home and I've made my bed, I'll be super excited and know that even if the rest of my house looks like a garbage can, at least I've got a clean bed. So for a long time, every morning I'd be so hard on myself. Since I've been in 4th grade, I've struggled with eating disorders and all sorts of fun things. And every morning I would step on the scale and just acknowledge the failure that I was, depending on the number that the scale showed that day. And it took me years to overcome that thought process and just those negative thoughts that would come into my head every day, thinking, oh, you know, this determines your entire worth and now you're a failure today. I've overcome that by throwing away my scale and just changing my thought process in my head and thinking, what am I worth? What makes me good? And I think that works with big things as well as little things. Oftentimes when my kids are crying and throwing fits or work is stressful, instead of the first thought being, wow, you're a failure, changing my thought process to, okay, this is where we're at right now. What's the next good step I can take? And just thinking one step at a time, what can I do next to make this feel a little less sucky? So we all have lots of accomplishments and victories we have in our life, and acknowledging them and noticing them I think is super important. I've had many, but I want to focus on maybe the biggest. And the biggest was that I allowed myself to get help. After I had my 3rd child, he ended up having massive surgeries to save his life and to be able to live. And I never acknowledged the pain that it caused me. I simply acknowledged that it would cause him pain, which landed me in a deep, dark depression for many years. And acknowledging the fact that it was okay for me to feel those emotions and that it was okay for me to get help for myself is probably one of the biggest victories I have ever done. Because I have allowed myself to get help, I have now a full life full of joy again. And so I think if we can acknowledge the fact that it's okay to feel whatever we're feeling, it's okay to be wherever we're at right now, and to think maybe it's okay if I need help and get help if we need it. As women, I think we can be so hard on ourselves, and the way we can help each other, the way I've been helped in my life, is by the women that are around me that constantly acknowledge and celebrate my victories. When I am not focusing on what I'm afraid of or what's stressing me out, and when I can focus on all the beautiful women around me and the great work they're doing and I can celebrate them, that brings me joy. And I know that on hard days at work or while I'm mothering or working out or just life just being hard, when I get a text message or a letter or a visit or a phone call from a friend that says, I see you and I acknowledge you and I celebrate you, it just turns my entire day around and makes me feel a million times better. So I know if I want to make the women around me feel better, I need to see what they're doing well and see their successes and share with them what they're doing well, because most likely they're being very hard on themselves and not seeing the beautiful life that they're creating.